Ladies and gentlemen, hear this. Right, a warning. Right, I'm just going to come out and be straight with you guys, okay? I have got a 50% bombing rate. I have got a 50% walkout rate. I have got emotional problems, right? And if you're currently thinking, I hate this guy, then it's not going to get any better. Leave now or expect prepared insults when you walk out late. E.g., excuse me, sir, but I'm afraid you smell of a dog. Or, yeah, see you later, stupid Mr. Poo-Poo Head. You know, people are going to leave. It's like, I never finished Ulysses, for instance. FYI, page 3. Doesn't mean it's not a cracking good read, alright? I mean, he's no Andy McNabb, but he can spin a good yarn. Now, my name is Raph Shirley. Welcome to the one and only True Globe Theatre. Before we begin, bear in mind that Karl Marx said, in a capitalist society, money is a universal measure of value. Welcome to the free fringe. I treat my audience the way a good chef treats his food. If there's any left, I haven't done my job. And now, without further ado, I'm coming on stage and there's not much that you can do about it. What? What? I'm supposed to just listen politely? Am I? No. It is time to start using less of these and more of these, because this show is about one thing: vengeance against mine enemies. And I don't need to say who they are. They know who they are. I don't need to lower myself to their level. Okay, I say the chief, alright? Sexy Pete 99, who stalks my every online move. And if I find out who that is, there is going to be motherfucking hell to pay. Okay, I just found out why motherfucker is offensive last week. I've just been going around thinking it was anti-dads, you know, but that's what happens when you have grammatically ambiguous profanities. Have I started on a weird note? Don't worry, I know exactly what I'm doing, seriously. I have done this 3, maybe 4 times before, okay? Everything will be fine. Well, that old thing, yeah, I wondered how long it'd be before someone asked me about that. That is the logo I designed for my e-blogging campaign to have quotation marks put at the beginning and end of Lolita, right? And preferably for it to say, said the nutcase at the end. Honestly, don't believe a word he says. And if you're one of the 95% hasn't read Lolita in the last 3 months, doesn't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, don't feel bad, all right? Pop home, read it, enrich yourselves, have a laugh later on me. First off, before we begin some admin, right? And I don't want to accuse anyone, right? But the venue is missing some spoons, okay? So I'm not saying, all I'm saying is, whoever it was, right, whichever one of you it was, just leave them anonymously on the stage at the end of the show and we'll forget all about it. Because James, the venue manager, he is fucking pissed off, okay? He's like, where are my spoons? I was like, don't worry, James, I'll sort it, leave it to me. And if it comes down to it, I will find the nearest airport-style walk-through metal detector and walk every last one of you people through that thing until all 12 teaspoons are recovered. Have I made myself clear? End of lecture. Now, can we have some fun, please? Not quite yet, okay? Because one more bit of admin we need to do before we start. I need to apologise. I need to get it out in the open because it's eating me up. Right? Now, on my blog, I discuss all the difficult issues of the day, right? Philosophy, Nietzsche, food, fast, music, faster, sex, hetero, right? And I've written so much brilliant blog recently exposing the wrongs of the great, hello, not so great, and good, hello, bad, yeah? But sometimes you need to take a step back. You need to say, hold on there, Raph. You're a cool guy with an excellent blog and everything, but what about your failings? Seriously, I do have them. I have done some things that would shock you to the very core. Little bit of background. My parents loved me so much that they worked often long into the night in order to send me to boarding school, okay? True, not the finest in the land, being as it was born of the marriage of a comprehensive and a travel lodge. It did the job, alright? The school was Long Eaton, which with careful use of white font and point size 1 looks pretty impressive on the old CV. Roll in on the old 4 5'8", I'd be like, what, you live at home with your mummy? What, you have to ask your mummy if you want Frankie and Benny's at Burger King for dinner? What, you have to ask your mum if you want to stay up there and watch Sex and the City because it aren't too late? In hindsight, that was a fair rule. I spent a lot of school asleep. And was I bullied? I was bullied to high fuck. Like this one time, I leave the classroom, say 20 minutes max, I get back in and everyone is laughing because they can tell by the time they had the squits, right? Not nice at all. Anyway, surprise, surprise, they made me head boy. They made me deputy head boy, yes? And then the next year, I was still, like, hanging out at the school gates and still, like, watching with binoculars and stuff and still, like, leaving comments on the website and stuff. And the headmistress has to, like, come out and ask me to leave. And I was like, no, can I stay forever? She was like, no. And then I was in floods of tears. And the New Year kids, it really was embarrassing, right? Well, I'm sorry to say that it was me who last week updated the school Wikipedia page to say that the founding father is a stupid idiot. Yes, and that Angela Noble MA is a stupid idiot. So sorry. Bear in mind I'm 30 now. Bear in mind I left 12 years ago. Bear in mind I often have a bear in mind. Yogi, if you're interested. Okay, end of apology. Now can we have some fun, please? Yes. Although any motion on the spoon front? Alright, the show must go on. Although you wouldn't think so, given the venue staff. James, the venue manager, I call him up a week before I'm due to get in, yeah? I'm like, hi James, it's Raph. He's like, who's Raph? Oh my God. James, I need to know some things about the venue. How big's your fly tower? He's like, fly tower? We don't have a fly tower. I've got to cut half my scene changes. The set designer was livid. I was livid. I was the set designer, alright? But I did the best with what I had. Okay, anyway, let the show begin. Hello, Edinburgh. Hello, Edinburgh, lovely town, lovely people. And they say there are two types of Scots in Edinburgh, and there are those who see themselves as Scottish first and British second, and on the other hand, there are panda bears, sorry. Allow me to introduce me. Vital stats, age 30. I know I'm 30 because when I look at a 20-year-old, I go, you stupid fucking piece of shit. If you watch someone closely on their 30th birthday, you can actually see the precise moment they compromise. So this is like, all right. Occupation, computer programmer / computer gamer / moonlighting as an amateur theatre technician, alright? I work 4 days a week with the rest for computer games. Other things about me, I have always depended on the kindness of strangers. No. Keep meaning to cut that. I just found out what that meant last week. I have always depended on the kindness of strangers, but I am not a sex worker. Full stop. Alright? People say to me, they say, Raph, you're a computer programmer, that's really interesting. They say, how do computers work? And I say, the way I like to explain it is to say that nobody knows, okay? Nobody knows how computers work. In that respect, they are like Owen Wilson's nose, yeah? Some things are best just left unexplained. It's like Marie Curie said, nothing is to be feared, only understood, before slowly dying of aplastic anemia caused by trying to understand radioactivity. And I think there's a lesson for all of us there. Don't bother, all right? And more specifically, do not fuck with radium. Okay, let me introduce you to the family. Weapon of choice, Dell XPS 15. Alright, mouse of choice, Cyborg Rat9 Gaming Pro. Oh yeah, that's one hell of a mouse, people. 1999, PC World, consider it. Pass it round, get a good look. Okay, time out, guys. We need to get serious for a second, alright? I hate prejudice. Seriously, if you're prejudiced, fuck off. Because everybody is welcome in my show, alright? It doesn't matter if you're gay, if you're straight, alright? If you're Christian or you're Muslim, you know? Or you're gay Muslim, you know? Or you're one of the overwhelming majority of homophobic Muslims, you know? Or Christians, they're as bad, aren't they? We're all as bad as each other. Stop going on about it. No, but I do have one prejudice, and that is I fucking hate neuroscientists. Honestly, cannot stand them. Trying to understand the brain? What are you, fucking nuts? Trying to understand the brain is like crying to stand under the rain. It's one of those jokes, very rarely gets a laugh. It's staying in because I like it, alright? Other things about me, my personality, alright? Let's get to know each other, guy. I don't want to know you, but my personality, I say I'd take 1/3 from mum, 2/3 from dad. I'm mad! No, but seriously, I do have a number of recognised mental illness, self-diagnosed, e.g. borderline manic depression. I can go from this to this in the space of 48 hours flat. Living with me is like living on a fucking roller coaster ride. I live alone. Other things about me. Most of my emails come from Microsoft, truth be told. I was hanging out on an industrial estate the other day and I saw a fat man slip on a leaf. I said, "Ha ha, you have fallen and I have not." And then I shat myself. I was hanging out at McDonald's the other day and I set about finding the best value product in terms of calories per pound sterling. Large Coke. I was sitting on a bog in an Odeon on an industrial estate the other day and I glimpsed my own futility. True story. Hobbies, hacking. Hobby. I am into hacking in a big way. Okay, I'll tell you the story if you insist. I hack into Asda mainframe, Hemel Hempstead branch. I discount all their underwear by 50%. I pop in, I buy 30 pairs. A quid's in. My only mistake was using debit card. But hey, that's neither the first nor the last time I'll be making a trip to the small claims court, yeah? But let me tell you, the corruption of the big Hemel Hempstead programming houses is out of control, yeah? But it's inevitable. When you've got that much cash sloshing around, you're going to see that sort of thing. And let me tell you, sin is rife, all right? I know people involved in anything from income tax avoidance, yeah, to underwear theft, obviously, to traffic violations, you name it, they've done it, or know someone who has, all right? Now, I'm working on 2 shows at the moment. My other show, my main show, oh, that's a good point. If you're going to see one of my shows, for God's sake, see the other one, right? This is the B show, this is the less good show, okay? My other show, my main show, it's ostensibly a one-man, okay, but that sells it short because this is really experimental stuff. And I don't know if you know about theatre, but I do. And King Lear, King Lear is Shakespeare's best play, after Hamlet, obviously. And Macbeth, and Romeo and Juliet, right? But I've been doing this show for a number of years. This year, I've really improved it because I made a number of changes. Chief among them, this year, it is abridged, right? And I don't know if you know King Lear, but it can really bring the piece to life. Now, I'm working on my own school of theatre at the moment. If you're an actor, wish to be admitted, there are a number of rules you must learn, all right? Rule number 1, the golden rule, the only rule, right? Never, ever fall asleep on stage. Seriously, it kills the mood, like a death in the family. Do not do it. And I've developed rules for other systems in life. For instance, my rules for lovemaking, all right? Rule number 1, never, ever cry during sex. Rule number 2, disobey any of these rules to avoid doing something barbarous. And I often make use of the second rule, actually. In fact, I've lost 4 major girlfriends that way. Most recently, Claire. Claire. Have you got 4 hours? Do you want to read a 700-page novel? No, I've literally written 700 blog posts on my relationship with Claire. That's part of what pissed her off, to be fair. Okay, let me tell you about my most recent breakup with Claire. We're in McDonald's to discuss our relationship. I say, a fire engine! Carry on. Yeah. Listen, Claire, it emphasises the temporary. And if you don't find that either profoundly sad or deeply sinister, then you're the one that needs professional help, mate, yeah? She walks out. But it's all right, I got it back, okay? I took her to her favourite McDonald's. I said, order whatever you want off the whole Savour menu, yeah? I sat her down and said, that's too much. That is pushing it. But, okay, Claire is Arcturus. She says, what? I don't understand. I said, Romeo said Juliet is the sun. No. Claire is not the sun. Claire is not Sirius or Pollux. Claire is Arcturus, the biggest star in the galaxy. She's back. Okay, you want to know more about how to woo women? Check out my blog post, How to Woo Women 7 of 10. All right? As I say on my blog, I discuss all the difficult issues. Race, religion, gender, interstellar dust. All right? I was one of the early bloggers to speak in defence of the moon. I love that bloody moon, honestly, cannot get enough of it. The moon, it knows how pathetic it is, do you know what I mean? And that makes it a jolly, silly friend in the sky with a pallid, spotty face, you know? The moon is 100% arbitrary. You take the moon away, would anyone really notice, you know? The tides would change a bit, a few winkle pickers would lose their jobs. But let's face it, that is an industry ripe for modernisation, okay? By the way, did you know Neil Armstrong got the quote wrong when he landed on the moon? People know that. What he was supposed to say was, one small step for man, one giant leap for the world's smallest frog. Yeah? And then he had a little frog in a spacesuit in his pocket, and he was supposed to put that on the floor, and they're supposed to do the step together. He absolutely ruined that frog's career, never forgave him. Honestly, world's only recorded amphibian nervous breakdown. In conclusion, I like the moon, right? The sun, on the other hand, I do not like that star. The sun doesn't know how pathetic it is. You know, I go outside, I'm like, mate, you're below average size. Half the stars in the sky are over 1 million times bigger than you. You're not even going to go supernova, and yet you continue to drag us round and dictate our each and every day. It is a vain, arrogant star. Not much solar system stuff left, guys. Just one more final bit. That is, I only found out last week that no one knows if the universe is infinite or not. Does anyone know that? Nobody knows. Either way is a concern, isn't it? If the universe is infinite, then right now, at this very moment, there are an infinite number of genocides going on, each one 1 million times worse than the Holocaust. Serious points as well as jokes in the show. If the universe is infinite, then any direction you point in, you're pointing at an infinite number of unicorns on the plus side. And I'm pretty sure both those things are true. Truth be told, guys, I have good shows, I have bad shows, alright? I think the worst show I've ever done was the one I did at last year's Edinburgh Fringe to a solitary 90-year-old man, okay? And he got lost on his way to the military tattoo. I don't know if you're familiar with the elderly, but how shall I put this sensitively? They can have lo-fi sensory data, okay? AKA, they don't see good, right? And what it was, just the door to my venue looked ever so slightly like a coach door, right? So I had this problem quite a lot. Actually, that's a good tip. If you ever want to trap the elderly, just have a coach door leading into a room, give it half an hour, you'll have 50 of them. Actually, that's how Greggs work. Greggs, they stop a coach in a town, leave the door open for an hour, next stop sausage rolls. Honestly, Greggs is people. Now, the other thing about the elderly is they navigate in groups. In that respect, they are like penguins, okay? They also enjoy a diet rich in oily fish. But they are poor swimmers, so do take care, alright? And if one gets separated from the group, they can become disorientated. And he was in my show, and he'd been there for 45 minutes, politely looking terrified, to be honest. And the show finished, and I was swinging a camcorder round on a stick, trying to recreate the sense of excitement at Live at the Apollo. Do you know what I mean? So every time I did a punchline, I'd swing it past his face, so I could use it later for my show reel, right? But this guy, he was not playing ball, alright? I mean, like, he did not dig my shtick, or my stick, right? Like, I did my best joke on this guy, knock, knock, who's there? No, who's on first at the moment, right? His response to that joke, his response to that, yes, was... What? No. That is not the correct response, right? The correct response is a beautiful woman from Holby City laughing hysterically. Not this, right? Anyway, the show finished. I said, well, that's the end. You can leave some money if you want. I didn't scam him. I didn't say that will be £1,500 to fix your roof insulation, which I could have done, right? I said, that's the end. What did you think? And he said... I fought the Germans in WW2, my abbreviation, and nothing I witnessed could have prepared me for the horror that I just experienced. And I said to him, I'm sorry to hear that, but it's always good to have feedback, isn't it? So I thought, at this stage, I'm just going to get out of there, right? So I go to leave the stage, but I trip up and fall face first in some half-eaten nachos, right? And I look at the man with a sultry face, I say, I really am sorry. And then my trousers fall down, and my pants also fall down, and I fart comically, right? And I say, I really am very sorry about this. And I can just taste a little bit of the sour cream guacamole beer Michelin-y, and a solitary tortilla chip is just slipping down my nose. And just before it, one bit of sour cream drops on the floor, and then the tortilla chip just drops, and as it falls, just one corner just clips the tip of my penis, and then seems to spin in slow motion like that man from Titanic. Do you know what I mean? And then it sticks upright in the bit of sour cream, like some sort of sick parody of The Passion or something, right? Anyway, at this stage, I really am very embarrassed. So I just go to get out of there, leave the stage, but I slip up on the sour cream in such a way that I fall over and the aforementioned tortilla chip sticks up my rectum, okay? And I look at the man, I say, I really cannot emphasise how sorry and embarrassed I am by this. And he sits up in his chair, and he says, I will never forgive your generation for your decadence, right? And then he falls off his chair dead. And then my parents come in, because my parents had been meaning to see the show, but they were late because they'd been distracted on their way to the venue by the Twilight Saga. And they come in and I say, it's not what it looks like, right? It is. Who am I kidding? I'm lying in salsa with a tortilla chip at my bum next to a dead hero, right? And then my bum goes... Anyway, there's no need to go into unnecessary detail, but I think that was probably one of my less good shows. That's actually a very good testimony. I don't think there was a single walkout there. If you're still there after that, I think there's a good chance I've got you to the bitter end. But what I will say is, I semi-lose respect for an audience if they're still here after that. I mean, guys, have you got nothing better to do than watch a grown man blow raspberries for a minute? Honestly, you need to take a good, hard look at yourselves, right? But my life since then, honestly, it's just been on the up and up and up. It's been a great year. January, the start of the year, I moved out of my parents' house and into their garden, and then I moved out of Snowdrop Cottage, Playaway Playhouse and Slide from Argos, and into the big yellow self-store. And then I moved outside, and then I moved all the way to a studio on Hemel Hempstead High Street. Ah, 'twas a giddy dream of lager and Doritos, alright? I had it all. Free access to Tesco Metro and Blockbuster and Forbidden Planet, alright? Typical evening in, computer games till 10 p.m, and then a Foster's with Showgirls. You know the film Showgirls? Showgirls is the perfect lie. It does what it pretends to criticise while looking you straight in the eye. As I had it all, I had a job, a flat, a girlfriend of sorts. Oh, Claire. How should I tell you about Claire? Right, Claire. She is ugly as sin. She's lazy as a log. She's borderline racist, and she's grotesquely unfaithful. All right. Apart from that, she's an all-round good egg. And we met on a Terminator fan site because we still have irreconcilable opinions regarding the nature of the T-101's genitals. All right. Truth of the matter is, guys, I used to struggle with women for a number of reasons. First point, I think fact is a lot of women are intimidated by a beautiful computer programmer. Okay. I mean, someone who can write really gorgeous code, okay? And I think my point actually has been better made before by me in this St. Valentine's Day email. Hi Claire, our union is the result of a carefully orchestrated procedure to locate a male-female pair of equal attractiveness. I find your personality delightful, which is why I was willing to sacrifice some ground on the looks front. Likewise, I'm only too aware of my own cold manner, which traditionally is frowned upon in these matters. I hope my excellent computer programming skills and fair to strong career prospects, I earn £35,055 per annum, well above the national average, will go some way to counter these failings. Yours sincerely, Mr. Raph Shirley. P.S. I find the prospect of genital contact with you to be arousing in the extreme. Open brackets, sexually, close brackets, right? As I say, I did struggle. I think another point is my admissions process is too long, it's too arduous, right? E.g., test number 181. If they make a joke and I repeat it, I expect a laugh, right? Simple as that. But fact of the matter is, guys, when you're earning 35k and you're working for one of the biggest programming houses in the southeast, you do not have a problem with women, all right? And it's not just that, right? You get to work with some great people. Okay, let me introduce you to the co-workers, right? I work in an office, there are 4 of us. Me, John, Sarah, Anand, right? John, the name means given by God. And that's a bit arrogant, isn't it? Call your son John, call him God's gift. And mine a niggle. John is so cool. Does he have good programming skills? A tick. Does he have good interpersonal skills? A tick. Okay, John, work team building exercise. He brings an 8-berth Arctic tent just for him. And you knew then this was a guy to be taken very seriously. Alright? I mean, his tent was only slightly smaller than the Millennium Dome. Alright? Other side point, please keep calling it the Millennium because the O2 marketing department hate that, and I hate them. Seriously, do not get me started on my contract. John, right, he works in London and he commutes to Hemel Hempstead, all right? He can get from inside his flat to inside the British Museum within 45 minutes flat, yeah? I was like, well, you know, I've got Wi-Fi, so I don't need that. But if you're into that sort of thing, then yeah, great. He can be a little bit of a dick. Like this one time, they printed out a scale of computer programming ability where Mark Zuckerberg was 10 and I was 0. That stung, right? And Anand laughed at that, one of 2 times I've ever seen Anand laugh. And it turned out it was Sarah's idea, but John had it like professionally printed and stuff. Anyway, Sarah, right? Sarah, the name means princess. First time I met Sarah, she said, "Hi, I'm Sarah." I said, well, "I'm a Republican, so that won't work on me." She says, "What?" Honestly, I got off on the wrong foot a little bit with Sarah, just because first time I met Sarah, she was in the tea room audibly having a hoot with one of the other teams, right? And they're talking about guilty pleasures, yeah? They're like, guilty pleasure, what's your guilty pleasure? And I'm like, I don't know, come on, Raph, what's your guilty pleasure? I'm like, probably prostitutes. She says, no, we're talking about films. Films? How am I supposed to say films then? Yeah, I knew it. I should have gone with the safe option, Alistair Campbell's Depression, right? But I try to open up, it comes back, it stings me in the ass. But it's alright, I got Sarah back a bit, right? I come in the next day. I said, "Yo, dude, how's it going?" "How's it doing, man?" She's like, "Not bad, what are you up to?" I'm just like, "I'm just reading about film, aka cinema." Yeah, because there was that confusion. Yeah, it was it. Yeah, but you got, but no, actually, I prostituti. Have you heard of it? No, it says it's shit here, but it's not, because I've seen it. So, one more thing, sir. I was bullied for, among other things, the liquidity of my feces, okay? So I can empathise with the struggle of women. So if you ever need a shoulder to cry on, just pop into my office, I'll be there. Oh, one more thing. I'm bisexual, and when you're bisexual living in Hemel Hempstead, you are at one with oppressed peoples everywhere, e.g. First Nations. Yes. I don't need the hat anymore, I've made my point. One more thing. People say I'm not gay because I've never had sex with a man. Interesting definition. In that case, explain to me gay celibate bishops. Yes? Also, when I was 16, Sebastian Browning put his Parker pen on my bum for a dare and I enjoyed it, alright? What's what? Oh. Right. Anand, right? Anand is a Hindi name meaning happiness. Literally most miserable person I've ever met. Honestly, never has a smile on his face. But he can be a nice guy. Like this one time, he bought me an audiobook CD-ROM of Yeats. I was like, highbrow. No, it was actually really good. Really interesting, right? Other things about Anand, he's about 60 or 70 or 80 or something, and he still says CD-ROM. You know, nothing wrong with that. Okay, now we know the major players. Now it's time to talk about the big meetings, the power struggles, right? Because I'm trying to get John to invest in my business. And actually, some of you guys might also be interested in investing, so I've got a great product here. Okay, meeting number 1 is in the meeting room off of Burger King. John orders an espresso, which I thought was aggressive, right? Because I'd ordered like an elaborate hot chocolate with spray foam and flakes and like a cocoa smiley face and marshmallows and stuff. I was like, oh, it was like the Athenians versus the Spartans, right? Oh, whatever, I don't know about history, but what I do know is it was epic, okay? Anyway, I explained to him the business plan. I say, right, you've heard the business plan, now it's time to learn about the product, right? Wrong, I run out. Always leave them wanting more, okay? Meeting number 2. We sit down, I say, okay, you've heard the business plan, now it's time for the product. John, when you look at me, what do you think? No, right? You're thinking joggers can be a little bit embarrassing. Nobody look below this point, right? Nobody look below there. Joggers, every man in the audience knows they can be a little bit revealing, a little bit embarrassing. You can see some things you'd rather not see, yes? That is why I have developed this prototype here, okay? And that slips in there. Like that, right? Right, that just means whatever you think you're seeing, rest assured it is but coiled wire neath cloth, alright? And I'm asking for £100,000 for 20% of the company, right? Are you in or you ain't? He ain't. Oh, my world collapses. My head is spinning. I run into the car park of the industrial estate. I don't know what to do, right? It's times like this that I am liable to have a major relapse into over-dependence on World of Warcraft. Stop. Count to 10. Remember what we say in the meetings, which incongruously take place inside the online world, which I've always questioned. Anyway, I decided to go into PC world to calm down. I'm at a MacBook Pro checking my emails, but I am harassed by a shop worker, so I have to maintain the pretense that I'm interested in buying it. I keep him busy with inquiry about Maine's power adapters, but he perseveres, right? I'm like, mate, I worked here 5 years, yes? I've spent shitloads in this place. I can use it as an internet cafe if I wish, right? All right, I'll buy your stupid computer. All right, I'll leave. £1,500 poorer. MacBook Pro in my right, left arm. The doors part in some sort of parody of Moses and the Red Sea, all right? I'm in the car park. I am flipping out. I decide to go into Pets World to calm down. Now, as far as I'm concerned, Pets World is effectively a free zoo, all right? Albeit with an over-dependence on adorable mammals, okay? I'm in there. I'm calming down. But in a spectacularly unfortunate turn of events, I am again harassed by a shop worker. Oh, I leave, this time, Flemish giant rabbit in my right arm, MacBook Pro in my left arm. I walk into the car park and shake my fist at the sky. What have I done to deserve this? Huh? Have I not been a good man? Have I not tipped in inverse proportion to meal cost so that the poor bastards at McDonald's get something and the relatively lucky bastards at Pizza Express get a fairer cut? Have I not done that? And then just as I'm on the verge of a nervous breakdown, I shit myself. A shatting myself of biblical proportions. Hat tip, Michael Berg. Yeah, cheers, mate. I've got a little quote to read here, which I think is quite apt. Imagine creating something and giving it both consciousness and a rectum. What sick joke is this? And then Jesus has the audacity to say, consider the lily. Yeah, I did consider the lily. And then I shat myself. Raph, Shirley, 2011, Old New York. All right, it was a dark time, but it was a creative time. Yes, e.g. Not bad, is it? All right, very creative time. It was around this time I was commissioned to write the Hemel Hempstead pantomime. Hemel Hempstead pantomime, right? You know, pantomime, it is what it is. The most primitive form of stage performance, okay? And my pantomime was called the 20th Century, a pantomime, right? And what it was, for every year of the 20th century, there was a minute in my pantomime. It's a 100-minute show. The dame was capitalism, the baddie was totalitarianism. And every decade, every 10 minutes, the dame changed her dress to go with the fashions of the 20th century. It's a good idea, isn't it, right? End of first half, Hiroshima. Knocked the audience for 6, all right? End of the whole show, a cocktail party on the roof of the Twin Towers to celebrate the fall of the Eastern Bloc, right? And I was pushing to have Professor Brian Cox flown in, playing a musical theatre version of Things Can Only Get Better, playing a keyboard where the keys are Tony Blair's teeth, right? Literally never got back to me. Yeah, he's all smiles when the cameras are on, isn't he? When you want him to be in your pantomime, he's nowhere to be seen, okay? Actually rejected in favour of a genuinely basic production of Dick Whittington, right? Rejected after I sent them the script, / they found out I wasn't Alan Ayckbourn, right? I mean, this Dick Whittington was honestly, I had to stand up and leave during the requisite bit where a man doing a parody of a woman makes not so oblique references to cocks. Yeah, I was like, yes, sausage means penis, pie means vagina. What does that teach us? Right? And I remember there were all these 5-year-olds lined up on the stage. I just said, what world are we giving these kids? Yeah? But I don't want to give you the wrong impression, right? My script was very sensitive, very much aware of and a response to those two great catastrophes of the 20th century, the first and second Chumbawamba albums. Right? It was a dark time, as I say. I needed a holiday. As simple as that, right? And this summer, I holidayed in Las Vegas, baby. Okay, only trouble is, whilst I had arranged to go with my mates, there was a catastrophic breakdown in communications, and actually I ended up arriving 2 weeks before them and having to holiday alone, right? And there's no question whether or not it's a mistake, right? Because I've seen the photos where they were reduced to consoling themselves with alcohol and strippers. I was taking a luxury helicopter ride for one down the strip / Hoover Dam, right? FYI, $300 is too much. I'd recommend seeing on foot. Right? I approached the pilot and he says, is it just you? I said, I am flying solo, affirmative, displaying an impressive knowledge of helicopter terminology. I went, "Babe, you don't get too many MPGs on this, baby. Yeah, what's the ETA on this bad boy?" Further cementing my status with the 50-year-old man. A man with a saggy bag of a face behind cheap aviators, right? Now, it is true that I did pass vomit, but there is no evidence that I cried, alright? And I defy anyone to produce any. Sexy P99 does not know what he is talking about, alright? I'll tell you what it was. I was busy explaining to the man that whatever the reasons for me not fighting in Afghanistan, cowardice is not one of them, yeah? When he span behind me on a sixpence and plopped it down on an H sign, what does he expect, right? Anyway, after the first day's thrill ride, I was running out of activities faster than shit down a scared man's leg. Note to self, good simile, use at work later. And I thought, what am I going to do? I tell you what, I found a great little internet cafe, I logged straight into World of Warcraft, had the best bloody holiday I've ever had, mate. So there, alright? Now guys, just 5 more minutes, stick with it. I know the energy can get a bit hot in here. We've got 5 minutes, let's get through it. Now, people always saying to me, they're like, "Raph, how do you do it?" They're like, "How are you coming up with these inventions? You're writing these pantomimes, you're so creative." I'm like, yeah, I know. Right, but the truth is, right, when you're a busy businessman, you wear a number of different hats. Right? Now remember, I just set up the word hats for in a minute, right? Computer programmer, yes. Computer gamer, yes. Computer owner, oui, right? But I released my creative juices in terms of being technical director of the Hemel Hempstead Amateur Theatrical Society, the Hats, yes. It's actually called Hams, but I don't wear so many hams, so it's harder to fit in joke-wise. Now, I've been wanting to talk about something that happened with the hats, hams, hads, or whatever you call it, for a while now, but so far the emotions have just been too fucking raw, alright? Cast your mind back. It is the autumn season, 2011. A cool wind tickles an oak tree, like a lover tickles his woman during the sex act. Nice simile, yes? The production is Noel Coward's Private Lives. I'd never heard of it, but I had heard of Noel Coward, alright? The script is formulaic, yes, but the lighting design, and my lighting design, is pretty radical, to say the least. It is fucking radical, alright? Now, I'd always suspected that Amdram socks were little more than flimsy covers for provincial swinging clubs for the actors, right? But that night, I thought maybe there's more to it than just middle-aged infidelity inappropriately on display to the sub-20 members, yeah? They dreamed of playing the HH Dome, the young fools, right? But fact is, when you're one of the kids, like me, taking an admittedly broad 5 to 31 age range, right, you dream crazy dreams like that every day, except the nighttime dreams, which are mainly sexual. The original Catwoman or Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh, they've dated. So, I'm running the lights in the fourth scene, and it occurs that this lighting job has been proficient at best. So I start to mix it up a bit, alright? Strobes and snow machines, blackouts over setups, yearly budgets in seconds, right? Before I know it, I've barged the 17-year-old off the sound desk beside me, and I've taken control of the audience's ears as well. Zoo sound effects and techno beats at full volume. The audience don't know what to make of it. The stage manager's in my ear, she's like, "What are you doing? I think someone is having an epilepsy. Can you stop that, please?" I'm like, "Listen, Kay, you'll understand when you hit 16, right?" The show finishes, the bows are taken. The audience are confused, but they got to admit this has been an experiment into what is possible in a theatre. Right, I run downstairs and into the dressing room. Bunches and bunches of flowers await me. I'm hugging them to my tingling flesh, and I run out into the car park where the cast have gathered to discuss the evening's events and smoke, and the leading lady approaches, mouth open, barely able to disguise how impressed she was with the lighting job, and she says, "Those are for me, you fucking idiot." "Oh, no need to swear," I say. I'm like, "Yeah, guys, where we going, yeah? Liquid or envy? Yeah, woo! You know, woo! You know the word woo? People know that? Woo! It means I'm currently enjoying leisure time, and it signifies that the person saying it is a moron. Now, I'm not sure what the vibe is here, right? Because usually I'm good at judging body language, but I can't tell this out. So I think, you know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to lean in for the kiss. And I'm leaning in, and she puts her hand on my chest and says, "Fuck off!" And I run off, and into the darkness, and into the night, and into an oak tree. Same one, right? And I'm informed by email that I ruined the evening, and I'm fired from Hats for 6 months. I obey their petty little diktats, except for one drunken final show where I sneak in and steal the microphone off that dreadful leading lady lady while she thanks her husband for being a rock, yeah? And I tell the baying crowds how narrow-minded they would seem if aliens landed on the planet Earth, and what a slapper the leading lady is. And my beret disguise droops off my indignant face as I realise it is time for my time behind the lights to end. It is time to go befront of the lights, yes? And now one more minute, guys, we're nearly there. Keep with it, keep with it. The next day, I work barbecue on Gadebridge Park. It's me and Anand versus John and Sarah. First thing that happens, I look at Anand, he's got a fucking tear in his eye. Anand, come on, get your shit together. We're going, right? First touch of the ball. John whacks it, hits me straight in the nose. Oh. Anand laughs. Second time I've ever seen him laugh. Sarah is giggling, right? John is smirking, and he smirks off to fetch the ball from some stinging nettles where it's bounced in, right? And he's leaning over the stinging nettles and waggling his ass at me like this. Right? And then suddenly, I think back to this time at school where I was in goal, and everyone was like, Raph, come out, can you save it? Can you save the match, right? And I don't know. And then the last minute, I just shut my eyes, and I let him score, and I ruined the day. And while I'm thinking that, anyway, I've already pushed John in the stinging nettles. And I said, John, right, before anything else, am I going to be fired? Yeah, you can't fire me because I quit. Alright, you know what, John? You know what this is? This is a map of the galaxy, okay? That is the centre. That is the solar system. It's all the fucking suburbs, you dickhead. Right? Who's with me? Who wants to make $1 million from my male modesty protector? Yeah? Anand, nah. Sarah, yeah, fuck you all to hell. Second thoughts, can I have the old job back? It's just, I like it. I get off with a slap on the wrist and a reduction to 3 days a week work. Oh, Sims 3 anyone? Or World of Warcraft? I'm easy, alright? And that is the end of my little story. This show has been like a life, hasn't it? It fizzled along irrelevantly and ultimately came to nothing. Oh no, because yes. Okay, you didn't see a guy there. Okay, it's alright, James. You got the old spoons back, mate. One final point. Please don't feel obliged to leave a donation, okay? But do be aware that I do base my sense of personal worth largely on how much money I receive. So, thanks very much. I've been Raph, Shirley. Have a great festival.